Hello friends, this is Shefali Rahul Ghutke, currently working as an assistant professor in civil engineering department at Tulsi Ramji Gaikwad Patil College of Engineering and Technology, accredited with NAC A+ grade. I welcome you all in today's subject fluid mechanics 2. In today's subject, we will going to talk about the dimensionless analysis. So, the aim of dimensional analysis is first to develop a functional relationship, and second, the model and simulative study. So, first we will see the dimensionless number. The dimensionless number are those number which are obtained by dividing the inertia force by the viscous force or gravity force or the pressure force, or it may be surface tension force or the elastic force. It means the dimensionless number can be obtained for dividing the inertia force to the various type of forces, right? As this is a ratio of one force to the other force, it will be automatically dimensionless number. The most important dimensionless number in fluid mechanics are Reynolds number, Froude's number, Euler number, Weber's number, and lastly Mach number. So one by one we will see this number. The first number is Reynolds number. Okay, the Reynolds number is defined as the ratio of inertia force of a flowing fluid to that of a viscous force of a fluid. The expression for Reynolds number is obtained as the formula for inertia force is rho a v square, where the viscous force formula is mu into v by L into A. So we can put the value of inertia force and viscous force in the formula of Reynolds number, that is represented by Re, which is equal to Fi. This Fi is nothing but inertia force and this Fv is nothing but viscous force. So after putting the formula, we will get Reynolds number as V into D divided by kinematic viscosity. So this is the formula of Reynolds number. Now the second number is Froude's number. The Froude's number is basically, it is the ratio of square root of inertia force of a flowing fluid to that of gravity force. The Froude's number is represented by Fe, which is equal to under root of Fi. This is inertia force, and Fg is nothing but gravity force. So Fi from the first equation is rho a v square. Okay, so the gravity force is nothing but force due to gravity. We can write it as mass into acceleration due to gravity. So its formula become rho into a into L into g. So after putting the value of inertia force and gravity force in this formula, in this equation, we can get the formula of Froude's number as Fe is equal to V divided by under root L into G. So this is the basic formula of Froude's number. After that, the Euler number. Euler number, it is defined as the square root of ratio of inertia force to that of a pressure force. The pressure force is represented by F, capital F suffix P. So the viscous force formula, as we know, rho a v square, right? So the pressure force will be intensity of a pressure applying on area. Okay, so it will be become P into A. It means the pressure which is applying on the area gives pressure force, right? After putting the value of pressure force and inertia force in Euler's number, we will get Euler's number as EU, which is equal to V divided by under root P divided by rho. So this is the basic equation of Euler's number. After that, The next dimensionless number is Weber number. Weber number is defined as the square root of ratio of inertia force to that of surface tension force. The surface tension force is represented by F suffix S. So we know inertia force is nothing but rho AV square, and the surface tension force is nothing but surface tension into L. Like this, we can write its formula. Okay. So after putting this value in Weber's number, that is represented by capital W suffix E, which is equal to under root Fi by Fs. So we simply put the value of Fi and Fs. You will get V divided by under root surface tension divided by rho into L. So this is the formula of Weber's number. It is dimensionless number. After that, the last dimensionless number is Mach number. The Mach number is defined as the square root of ratio of inertia force of a flowing fluid to that of elastic force. The Mach number is represented by capital M, which is equal to under root I Fi, that is inertia force to the elastic force, which is represented by Fe. So the elastic force will be equal to Fe is equal to elastic stress, which is applying on the area. So elastic stress is represented by K and area represented by A. So we simply put the value of elastic force and inertia force in Mach number, and after simplifying we will get V divided by under root K by rho. This rho is density. Okay. So this is the formula of Mach number, which is also dimensionless. Okay. So the use of this dimensionless group in the experimental investigation. Basically, the dimensionless analysis can be assistant in experimental investigation by reducing the number of variables in the problem. From the dimensional analysis, we get NM number, which is dimensionless group. N is the total number of variables. This reduction in the number of a variable greatly reduces the labor of the experimental investigation, right? Therefore, the reduction in the number of a variable plays a very important role for the experimental purpose. For example, the Reynolds number, which is represented by Re rho v d by mu, can be changed by changing any one or more quantities. Okay. So the next is similitude and the type of similarities. So basically, the relation between the model and the prototype is known as simulated. Okay, the valuable result of obtained at relatively small cost by performing the test on a small scale models of a prototype. This similarity law help us to understand the result of model analysis. Okay, generally to see the performance of any prototype, we perform the experiment basically on its model rather than to make a big one prototype, right? So generally, not always, the size of a model is very much less than that as compared to prototype. Okay, the model should be similar to that of prototype. A model can be considered similar to the prototype when the model has following three types of similarity. The first one is geometric similarity, the second one is kinematic similarity, and the third one is dynamic similarity. Now, what are the similarities? First is geometric similarity. The geometrical similarity exists between the model and the prototype if both of them are identical in shape but different only in size. The ratio of all the corresponding linear dimensions are equal. Okay, so basically in this, each and every dimension of prototype is scaled in the same ratio. So in geometric similarity, we will going to talk about its dimension. Okay. So this LR is nothing but scale ratio. We can say that length scale ratio. This LM represent length of a model and this LP represent length of a prototype. Likewise, this B represent width of a model and this H represent height of a model and this depth is represent depth of a model. Likewise, these term also represent width, height and depth of a prototype. Likewise, we can calculate the scale ratio. Okay, so basically the scale ratio is the ratio of dimension of a model and the corresponding dimension of a prototype. The next similarity is kinematic similarity. The kinematic similarity which exists between the model and the prototype, if both of them have identical motion, it means in kinematic similarity we will going to talk about in terms of velocity and acceleration. Okay, so the ratio of corresponding velocity at a corresponding point are equal. So this we are represent the kinematic similarity in which this Vm is nothing but the velocity of a model. This Vp represent the velocity of a prototype. Likewise, this gives the kinematic similarity of model and prototype. It means in this we compare the kinematic ratio, the kinematic similarity, dynamic similarity, and the geometric similarity of model and the prototype. The next similarity is dynamic similarity. The dynamic similarity exists between the model and the prototype if both of them have identical forces. In dynamics, like in dynamic similarity, we will going to talk about in terms of force. Okay, so the ratio of corresponding forces which is acting at a different point, it should be equal. Okay, only we can say that the model and the prototype is dynamically similar. Okay, so this FR is represent force scale ratio. This Fi is nothing but inertia force of a model divided by inertia force of a prototype. Okay, likewise we will going to see the different forces for model and different forces for prototype. Now, what is model testing? Engineer always engaged on the creation of a design of a hydraulic structures or the hydraulic machines. They usually try to find out in advance how the structures or the machine would behave when it is actual constructed. For this purpose, the engineer have to do so many experiments on the machines. In fact, the experiment cannot be carried out on the full size structures or the machines which are proposed to be erected, right? So then it is necessary to construct a small scale replica of the structure of a machine and test should be performed on this replica only. Now, what is prototype and what is model? So the prototype, it is the actual structure or the machine. It is full size structure which is employed in the actual engineering design and it operate under the actual working condition. A working prototype represent all or nearly all the functionality of the final product. Now the model. Model is a small scale replica of the actual structure or a machine which is similar to the prototype. The tests are performed on the model to obtain the desired information. It is not necessary that the model should be smaller than the prototypes. They may be larger than the prototypes. Now, what are the advantages of model testing? The model tests are economical and convenient. Firstly, all the defects of the model we can eliminate. Efficient and the suitable design can be obtained. The final result obtained from the model test, it can be useful to modify the further design of the prototype. The model testing can be used to detect and rectify the various problems which causing ultimately defects of the existing structures. Now, Model's law. The law on which the models are designed for the dynamic similarity are called as a model law. The ratio of corresponding force is acting at a corresponding point in the model and the prototype should be equal for dynamic similarity. It means for dynamic similarity, the be equal or same. Okay, so the following are the model's law. First is Reynolds model law, second is Proud's model law, third is Euler's model law, fourth one is Weber's model law, and the fifth one is Mach model law. So we will going to talk about Reynolds model law and Proud's model law. So the Reynolds model law is the law in which the models are based on the Reynolds number. Basically, the model Reynolds model law is used for the pipe flow around the submarines and the airplanes, in which this is the basic formula of Reynolds number. Here, simply we are comparing the Reynolds model law for model and for prototype. This is the formula of Reynolds number. Okay. So this Vm is nothing but the velocity of a fluid in the model. This ρm is nothing but the density of a fluid in the model. Lm is nothing but the length of a model, and this um is nothing but the viscosity of a model. Likewise, we can write it for prototype. It means for prototype, we can write it as Vp. It will become the velocity of a fluid for prototype. Okay. So the next is Proud's model law. The Proud's model law is the law in which the model are based on the Proud's number, which means to dynamic similarity between the model and the prototype. The Proud's number for both of them should be equal. Okay, it means for dynamic similarity, the Proud's number, it should be same for the model and it should be same for the prototype. Both should be same to each other. Okay, so basically this Proud's number model law, we can apply it for the river flow, the open channel flows. We can apply it for the spillways, surface wave motion, which is created by the boats. Okay, so this is basically the formula of Proud's number. This we have written it for model and here we have written it for prototype. Likewise, this we represent velocity in the model. L represent the length dimension of a model. This G represent acceleration due to gravity for model. Likewise, we can write it for prototype. Okay, so this equation establishes the dynamic similarity between the model and the prototype. Now, what are the types of a model? Basically, there are two types of hydraulic model. First one is undistorted and the second one is distorted model. First, we will talk about what are this undistorted model. Okay, so undistorted model is geometrical, is similar to its prototype. It means it's having its geometrical feature which is totally similar to its prototype. Okay, so the scale ratio for the corresponding linear dimension of the model and its prototypes are same. The behavior of the prototype can be as easily predicted from the result of this type of a model because they are geometrically same. So the result which are getting from the model, it should be applied to the prototype. So the advantages of undistorted model. The basic condition of perfect geometric similarity is satisfied. The prediction of a model is relatively easy. The result which are obtained from this model test, it can be directly transferred to the prototype. Now it's having some limitations. The small vertical dimension of a model cannot measured accurately. The cost of the model may increases due to the long horizontal dimensions to obtain the geometric similarities. Now, the distorted model theory. This model is not geometrically similar to its prototype. The different scale ratio for a linear dimension dimension are adopted. The model and the prototype in this condition, the model which we are making as per the prototype, the model are not geometrical similar. So we are taking the different dimension. Okay. So the distorted model may have the following distortions because it is not geometrically similar. So the discussion of a hydraulic quantities such as velocity, discharge rate, etc., and the different materials which are used for the model and the prototype. Again, the main reason for adopting the distorted model are to maintain the turbulent flow and to minimize the cost of a model. Now, what are the advantages of distorted model? It gives the accurate and precise measurement that are made possible due to the increased vertical dimension of a model. Because these are the distorted model, so we can easily increase the dimensions of the model, right? So the model size can be reduced, so its operation is simplified, and hence ultimately the cost of a model is reduced, right? So the disadvantage of distorted models are the depth of or height distortion is changed, ultimately changes the wave pattern. When we are changing the depth and the height of a model, in that case the wave pattern automatically gets changed. The slope bands and the cuts may not properly reproduce in this type of a model because these are the distorted model which are not geometrically same, right? So basically this is all about the dimension analysis. So this is the end of the topic. Thank you.